this is what I want to, why I want to make this film. I want people to, change their tradition and see what happened, one family at a time.
School can be a magical place. Yes, we learn from teachers and instructors, but we also meet people who can change the course of our lives. And film school is no different. For Taiwanese filmmaker Shih-Ching Tsou, meeting Sean Baker in a film editing class at AFI sparked a creative partnership that would go on for years to come. Together, they co-directed the 2004 feature Takeout and went on to collaborate on acclaim films including Tangerine, The Florida Project, and Red Rocket. Now, after years of creative evolution, that partnership has led to a new film, Left-Handed Girl, a deeply personal story about a young girl confronting cultural barriers and expectations in Taiwan. Set amid the vibrant energy of Taipei's night markets, the film is both intimate and universal. Left-Handed Girl is written and directed by Shih-Ching Tsou, co-written and edited by multi-Oscar-winning filmmaker Sean Baker. It's gone on to play major international film festivals, including a celebrated screening at Cannes. Among others, the film is also Taiwan's official entry for the 2025 Academy Awards, competing for Best International Feature Film and showcasing a trio of extraordinary actresses. On this episode of Inside the Arthouse, we talk to Shih-Ching Tsou about her path to making this film and how her experiences and collaborations have influenced her work. That conversation on Inside the Arthouse, starting now.
Hi, my name is Greg Lumley.
And I'm Raphael Spard.
And welcome to another episode of Inside the Arthouse. Today we're joined by filmmaker Shih-Ching Tsou, here to talk about her film, The Left-Handed Girl.
Thank you for having me here.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much. It's very exciting for us. We've been talking to a number of, there's just a number of really interesting films coming out of Taiwan right now. Earlier this year, we talked to Constance Sang about her film Blue Sun Palace, not necessarily a Taiwanese film, but Elizabeth Lowe has her film Mistress Dispeller, quasi-documentary, or a documentary, but an interesting one. So it's wonderful to see all of these films coming, being available for U.S. audiences. Talk to us about The Left-Handed Girl. I love the way it opens sort of with the kaleidoscope. My kids, would spend hours looking through a kaleidoscope. So it's a great motif, the idea of introducing looking at this world through a child's eyes, I guess maybe. Was that the idea?
Actually this image is actually inspired by my daughter's toy. I have a daughter who's 9 years old right now. And I remember when she was 6, she had this toy kaleidoscope. And I was looking at it and I feel like, wow, this looks so amazing. And I feel like I haven't seen any film that used this image in the film. So I thought, wow, I want to use it. So that's how, and especially this film, I wanted to take the audience to look through the film through this little girl's eyes. So it's just a perfect opening for the film.
It's interesting because I understand from the press notes that it's a script that you've been working on for quite a few years. So the idea that you started working on the script when you didn't have a child and then, had a child, any changes or just sort of influence not necessarily the story itself, but maybe the way in which it's told? Yeah,
of course. I wrote this script with Sean Baker in 2010, but this idea actually came long before that. It was in 2001 when I first met him in the editing class. So that was, in 2010, after we finished the script, we just kind of, we knew we couldn't make it at a time because the budget is really hard to find funding in U.S. for a foreign language film at a time. So we kind of waited and for the moment to come, So throughout the years, we didn't really change anything on the script, but only thing that got changed was the character Gugu, because it was in the original script, it was a monkey. Because I have a pet monkey when I was young, and I thought I want to kind of remember this monkey, so I wanted to put it in the film. By the time we just couldn't make it work, a lot of license problem, and in Taiwan there's a very strict rules on putting monkey in a film or TV, so we had to change into meerkat.
which is a fantastic element, and I don't want to give it away, but it plays so spectacularly in the film. The title and the inspiration of this came from what your grandfather said to you about your left hand. Do you want to sort of explain that and set that up?
Right. When I was in high school, my grandfather saw me use knife with my left hand, so he scolded me. He was pretty angry. He said, "Left hand is devil's hand, and you should not use your left hand." So, that always, I always remember that. And especially in high school, I wasn't even left-handed. I got corrected very, very young, probably in kindergarten. So, for what he told me, that kind of made me think maybe I was left-handed. And, but I remember that. So when I met Sean, I told him about this, what he told me. And Sean thought, wow, this is a very powerful, it's really weird, but it's so powerful. We can probably turn into a movie idea. So that's how everything started.
What in it was the key to open the story? I mean, obviously it's a generational perception about left hands, but it stayed with you enough, and it sort of opens up this whole world. I mean, it's obviously a starting point, but it just a kaleidoscope opens up of all of these sort of remarkable people in this world. But what was the key for you into the story, I guess, from that?
I feel like, just from what he told me, and that kind of, from the very beginning, I told Sean, I want to make this film about women, because that's how I grew up in Taiwan, and all the limitation, all the expectation put on little girls is really, really heavy. There's the mold you have to grow in. You have to have light skin. You had to behave. You had to obey all the rules, and you are not allowed to express your feelings or emotions. And on top of that, all the tradition. They prefer son over daughters. All the different unfair treatment on women. That just made me feel like I want to tell a story. I want to kind of, put my own experience in there, and I want the audience to understand all those traditions. They are not necessary, in the modern day. We should get rid of them. We should invent better traditions for everybody else, not just blindly follow the outdated ones.
And for their unique differences, and for who they are as women and as our left-handed people, right? That there should be room for that.
I mean, there's cultural norms that we all kind of look at and say, okay, yeah, that makes no sense. That's outdated. That's silly. And yet, why is left-handedness any more, silly than the preference for sons and the expectations on daughters and all those kinds of things? And so, yeah, in that sense, it's really kind of a sly way of addressing the bigger issue. And yet through this other thing. And also, of course, how that influences, Yi Jing's character and your own life to have that put on you at such a young age. I mean, there's a great little clip of this where the whole thing is introduced. So let's take a look at a clip from Left-Handed Girl. Clearly a memory from your own life.
为什么不能开水果摊就好？水果摊就洗一洗摆出来就可以卖了。
水果很容易烂，你知道吗？
哎，你要花双倍的钱和时间去准备面摊东西，是有比较划算的。
你如果会赚钱，你可以有意见啊。
好啊，那我自己去赚啊，我赚的比你还要多。
拜托，假装卖差好吗？有拜托。
他以为他很厉害，他高中没毕业，真是。
那是我的问题吗？
第一次大家一起吃饭，你什么态度啊？不是你的问题吗？
对，就这样。啊，你让我到处去食饭。啊，拜托，你莫管遐济，好唔啦？好心咪去食饭啦，吵死！
There is a lot going on there.
There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
And yet something we can all, leaving aside the left-handed, who hasn't been at a family dinner where, you're seeing an adolescent, an older child really fighting with their parents and the grandparents and as a young person trying to make sense of it all, I guess.
Tell me about the casting, because this little girl is unbelievable, and her ability to kind of just be present, and we just can't take our eyes off her. She's just astounding. How did you find her? How did you work with her? What was that like?
What I found her actually, she was recommended by a agent of the actor in Taiwan, and at the time she was actually she's a little commercial star. When you turn on TV, you will see her in every other commercial. The trial between 3 to 6. That's the golden age for casting for kids to cast it in a commercial. So she already have 3 years of acting experience before I cast her.
And she's 6? She was 6 when you were working with her?
She was 6 when I cast her. And when I cast her, her mom actually told me, she said, you don't have to worry about acting coach because I'm the perfect one. I've been coaching her since she was 3, because her mom, took her to all the auditions and also coach her on the side. So I was very lucky. I got this little actor that came with a acting coach. And the mom was like, I know how to make her cry. We have this method. So I was like, that's great. It's perfect. So I don't have to worry about that. That's like the hardest part. Right? Yeah. So she had their methods. They will, the mom will play a sad music to her first, put her into the mood and then tell her a sad story. Sometimes it's like, imagine you have a puppy and the puppy we're going to send a puppy away tomorrow. So you want to see the puppy again. So normally when she hears those sad stories, she will start crying. So, it's great.
That's just amazing. I mean, look, I've been on a lot of sets as an actor with stage mothers. They tend to people tend to kind of not trust them or kind of keep them at arm's length because they're always sort of feel like they're kind of like the children are their surrogates and they actually just sort of want to be in camera themselves, right? So it's a weird dynamic. But the fact that you would sort of be open to that and that they would have this shorthand that would actually work, that's incredible.
Yeah. Their parents are they are also very professional. The mom, I think the mom also likes to act, but she obviously can only focus on one person, because that's really time consuming, going through all those auditions and, waiting on set, all that. So, the mom basically just, she knows her daughter has that ability. She loves to act, loves to play pretend games. So, that's how they started all this commercial acting career.
But as a producer, you had some experience working with child actors. I mean, I'm thinking of Florida Project most specifically, and I guess compare and contrast, or was the experience of seeing Sean doing that on set on that film something that helped as you went into production here?
The thing is the directing style between me and Sean, we are very different. I'm a one-take director, I would say. I do not like to torture my actors, and I really completely trust them. So I usually have of course with kids, we have more takes. With animal, there's multiple takes. But with the adult actors, I'm really laid back. I want the actor to come, they prepare at home perfectly with everything they need to know, the characters, the emotion and the relationship among the different characters. So when they come to set, I let them freely create this character. We really collaborate on that, at that state, on that level. They are freely to bring their own spin of the character, how they think the character should be. And I don't really do a lot of takes.
Do you do rehearsal? I mean, did you work with them?
We didn't. We didn't do any rehearsals.
That's amazing because the camera movement is, it's also
really complex. Yeah,
very complex.
I mean, you're really moving a lot.
Yeah, we have 2 camera cinematographers on set, and they are like great partners together. They've been working on shows and TV and movie for a while. They are partners, working partners. So I'm very lucky I found this, the first cinematographer I hired is Shih-Ching Tsou. So he is actually, he already won a Golden Horse Best Cinematographer a couple years ago. But I talked to him about this film. It's actually right after he finished his first film. So it's, a while ago. And then after that, he won the best cinematographer. So he's probably one of the best in Taiwan right now.
And I have to ask you, because you shot it on an iPhone. Wow. So tell me, just even technically, I mean, are you using different lenses? Are there different focal lengths that you're attaching to the phone? And what is that like? Can you just...
Right. We all have a picture of someone, like on a selfie stick or something running around shooting the movie. And I guess maybe it's a little more complex than that. Maybe not.
Oh yeah, definitely. But this is the phone actually we shot on. Later on I just took it to use on my own. So we use the iPhone 13 Pro Max. We also use a Filmmaker Pro. The app we also use on Tangerine. At the time there was a very, very new app, but now they have so advanced, technology just advanced so fast. So now they have this app you can actually link with a iPad. So that's how we have the, review. So it's the live review, but of course it's wireless. So sometimes you have some glitch, but most of the time it's pretty good. I can stay a little bit further apart from the camera, and then I can review on iPad. And we also use this company called Beast Grip. They have this very robust like a iPhone frame. You can build out your own rig. Really, really powerful, really heavy and really steady. And also I use their anamorphic lens. So we shot with the anamorphic lens is all squished, and in the post we kind of stretch it, put that into the right aspect ratio. Basically, and then we also have the stabilizer. So we have 3 different stabilizers. They can kind of switch on, So that's basically the tool we have, equipment.
It's just, it's just astounding because the filmmaking itself is so stunning and energetic, and obviously it's so vibrant. The colors are so rich. The fact that you would have kind of the degree of even just sort of color correction that you could that you did, which obviously matches the kaleidoscope, the market, and how all of that just feels so neon. The fact that you have that much sort of information on the sensor that you could play with in post, it sort of blows my mind.
Yeah, technology this day, we shot on 4K and on a Lux mode. So in the post, we can do a lot.
And then you're also shooting on an open set, basically. You're shooting at the actual live market.
Yeah, we did. And then that's the whole reason we need to use the iPhone, because we need to hire our camera. We need to hire our crew. That's the trick to shoot in the real night market, because if you have a big machine setting out in the night market, then you won't be able to shoot, because everybody will stop and then they will all want to know what you're doing and who are the stars. They will not leave. I remember that's the first day. Altogether we have 20 people crew, and they all wear black t-shirt, but that's how the Taiwanese film crew like to do. So they all wear black t-shirt. And after we set out the noodle stand the first day, they went across the street just kind of watching. And then as soon as people see those people, the passing by people, they start stopping, asking questions. They would not leave. And then some people even start recording us filming. So I'm like, oh my God, this is not going to work. So the second day, I told the crew, nobody wear black shirts. Black shirt is a prohibited.
Right.
And then it's a neon sign for we're a film crew, right?
Yeah. So then everybody has to wear if you go to the night market, you just you wear that kind of very casual clothes. And if you don't have it, I asked them, if you don't have anything to do on set, you need to just step away, stay in the office, or you have to just pretend you are the people who's just working around that market. So we have 5 to 6 people, crew people, with our actors on set. So we kind of hide our crew, and especially we are using iPhone, so nobody really pay attention, because everybody's using iPhone to do selfie or recording blog. So in the end, I remember some real customer actually came to.
I was going to ask if customers came to order noodles.
Yeah, they did. It was really funny. And then we actually asked the actress to just cook the noodle, so we don't have to, expose ourselves.
Right. Yeah, the other clip is, yes, I mean, the first clip certainly sets up the family drama, but it is more static. I think this other clip, shows the scenes at the night market, the moving camera, and of course the fabulous, actress playing Shih-Ching in the film. So let's take a look at another clip from Left-Handed Girl.
老板，这个几块
60块。
你在干嘛？
Can I ask you a question just about Sean's cutting style? It's unusual and it's very surprising, and he cuts at places that are where you don't expect it, and it keeps you on your toes in a way. And I was always leaning in, but is it a style inspired by another filmmaker, or how did you come to the cutting style? Because it works beautifully, particularly with the way you shot it.
Well, I think, because it's a child's point of view, if you have kids, like when they are that age, they don't have a long-term memory. Everything is just like really quick to them, they can forget things so fast, right? So I think just we want to reflect that kind of child's point of view. So the cutting is really fast. And then also like back and forth with the different women's life, kind of cutting back and forth. That kind of represent, everything kind of happened at the same time. So we want to kind of see like at the same moment what the young sister's doing, what is the older sister doing, and what is the mother is doing. So that's just all the kind of the moment, the family life moment kind of blend together.
Was there another filmmaker's style that you inspired you, or was it something that you just discovered?
I wouldn't say anything, but I think just Sean's own style, because he always added his own film. So I really completely trust him, especially he's also the co-writer. So he knows the story inside out. He knows the characters. So there's nobody better than him to edit a film.
Yeah, I mean, there is no one better than Sean Baker for sure. I guess the follow up on that is, does he speak Taiwanese, and how did he navigate the language in terms of the cutting? And
he doesn't, unfortunately. But when we finished shooting, that's the funny thing, because when we wrote a strip together, we wrote in English because he doesn't understand Mandarin, and so that's the only way we can kind of work together. So I will tell him story, and then he will be typing, because English is his first language. So obviously he will be better than me typing down all the stories. And when I have to go back to Taiwan to apply for the film grant, I translate everything into Chinese. So that's how, and then also I added all the Taiwanese element along the way, according to my own experiences or according to the conversation I have with the friends in night market or my, friends in Taiwan. So in that way, when we finished the shooting, I also subtitle all the dailies in English, like English subtitle. So it was a process. Like every take.
So you subtitled it so he could cut seeing the subtitle. Oh, yeah. That's great. Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah,
right.
So he understands what they are talking about. But naturally he knows, because he wrote the story with me. So he knows that even not knowing the language, he kind of knows like what they are talking about, what this scene is about. So he, like when I saw his cut, like I also edited my film, for a while. So when he showed me his cut, sometimes I will be like, where did I see? I didn't see this take. He was able to pick out the best performance of the take without knowing the language, because I know the language, so I will focus on the line or the better dialogue or, the more smooth one. But he always pick out the best performance. So which is really amazing.
Amazing.
Yeah.
And you only did one take?
That's why he complained to me. He's like, I can't believe you only had one take.
I need more coverage.
It's funny. It's really funny. But I'm like, well, that's the perfect take. Why do I need another one?
Right.
But for he's directing, he would do like 10 takes. He wants to be like really safe. But for me, I feel like a lot of time you only use the first take or the second take. You never go to like 10. I feel like it was never, the 10th take never got picked. Unless there was like serious, mistakes on the first couple of takes. But I feel like, especially with the performance, when you have like first time, like they do it together, that organic, you cannot remake that organic feeling. So that's why I say I'm the one take director. And he was really angry about like I only have one or two takes.
I get it.
Well, you had two cameras, so at least there's at least a little bit of choice, right?
Yeah, but in the ending, the birthday banquet scene, we have like 4 cameras. Filming all together.
Sure, there's a lot going on in that scene.
Right.
What was the reaction to the film? I mean, when did you premiere? I guess has it opened in Taiwan? Did it play theatrically there?
We actually opened in Taiwan on October 31st.
Okay.
So very soon.
Very soon, yeah, absolutely.
And I will be back in Taiwan to support the release for 10 days. Mm-hmm.
And this is sort of a first for us. This is one of the first. I mean, every film that we've talked and filmmaker we've talked to, ultimately, their films are in movie theaters. That's part of the reason why we're having the conversation, is to let people know about what's going to be in their local art house. But these films all ultimately end up at some point streaming. This is the first time we're talking with someone whose film is going to be on Netflix, and with a somewhat shorter window, between theatrical. When was that? Was Netflix on board from the very beginning?
Well, they actually bought it after our Cannes premiere. They actually gave us at least 2 weeks of theatrical release starting from November 14th. So we'll be limited theaters in big cities in U.S. like New York, L.A., and I think they are trying to roll out to other cities too, but we don't have that complete list yet. And also, we already released. We already have the theatrical release in France on September 17th, and that's the release that qualifies for the Oscar international feature.
Great. So this is going to be the Taiwanese entry for Best International Feature.
Yes.
And yes, opening November 14th in New York and LA and other markets, right. And then I guess on Netflix.
November 28th.
November 28th. So after you've finished your Thanksgiving, turkey, and if you're still awake at midnight, log in and.
It's a great family movie.
Yes, absolutely.
It's a family movie.
If you thought your Thanksgiving dinner was tough, wait till you see see this one.
Exactly. You'll feel much better.
But the film was shot to be seen in a theatrical setting. Clearly, that was the intention as you were going into it.
And I think it's so special when you watch with a group of people, especially this film, because I found that so rewarding. After I talked to so many audience throughout different film festival, and they're all really happy they saw in theater, because it has so many different emotions, and especially the funny part. When you hear other people laugh, that kind of is very contagious. So it's a great movie to watch in the theater.
I'm not gonna dispute that. So I was previewing it online, which is unfortunately something that we have to do because of the nature of the show, and the first line of dialogue comes up and they're speaking English, and my wife turns to me and says, "Isn't this a foreign language film?" and it defaulted on the platform to the dubbed version. And I had to say, no, stop, go back down. I'm going to switch it over to the subtitles. So that's a warning to people who do catch up with it on Netflix. You really should. I know there are people that don't like subtitles, but I think the nuance of the film is clearly improved watching it in the original language. And just like Sean Baker cutting the film, at some level, you don't need to understand. You know what people are saying. You don't necessarily need to read every line of dialogue. It's a visual medium, and just watching the actors and how they interact really can tell you the story.
You said at the beginning that when you'd written it back in 2010, and you sat on it with Sean, essentially waiting, that wasn't a time for a film like this to be financed. What has changed? Where are we now, such that this film could essentially be embraced? And obviously, Netflix is a giant platform, which is wonderful. And is that what you expected, that this would happen for this?
Oh my God, it's really, really wonderful for Netflix to pick out the film, because that means our film is going to reach out to like millions and millions of audience, all over the world. That is really, really wonderful. And also, I think that all the climate changed throughout the years, especially after like Parasite, right? It broke out and won like so many. It won Best Picture at Oscar, and I think that opened people's eyes, to kind of focus on the local stories from different countries, not just the Western story, but also the Asian cinema, Asian stories that also reach to different level. And other than Parasite, also Squid Game. Right, so all those Korean content that becomes so popular, and people that kind of open audience eyes to kind of they want to see more of that. So I think that kind of change all the climate, all the environment in the industry as well. So that's why I said timing is so important. Not just like wanting to tell the story, but we also waiting for the timing. Like I became a mother, and that gave me a different perspective making this film. Like I feel like over 20 years just waiting for the story, the film to be made. It's kind of healing me in a way, making this film. I went back to Taiwan. I also rediscover all the beauties in my country. I want people to know about Taiwan. I want people to come to Taiwan to see all the beautiful culture, like very, very friendly people, like excellent food. So everything kind of just, because the timing, everything kind of come together. So I'm really happy to see this, big change in the industry.
Yeah, and I was also thinking, you're just speaking also, even though it wasn't, it's an English language film, but Everything Everywhere All at Once, and there's so many Asian characters who are essentially sort of starring in movies, and that essentially the appetite for so many of these stories have now become sort of so, people are hungry for them, just the fact that you would have that kind of we're gonna bake this and put it in the drawer and wait to pull it out. That's I really admire your foresight about that it's going to come to you in a way.
Well, hopefully it's a great time now also, in Taiwan and elsewhere, for people to start confronting some of these, the cultural norms that you talked about, and begin to look at, it's not about the left-handedness again. I think it's, there's a lot of gender politics issues going on in the film, and I'm curious how do audiences react? Do audiences get that, especially in Taiwan?
Well, we did have some. We have a Taiwanese film festival premiere on October 10th in the South. In the South, typically it's more tradition, like, families are more tradition compared to the North. So we got a very warm response by the audience. They really enjoy it. So I think, like, for Taiwanese audience especially, they live there. For their
They're a tough crowd, right?
Yeah. So it's kind of, I got approval from them. It's really, really, really important. And I'm really happy that they feel like the film really depicts the real Taiwanese society.
And your collaboration with Sean Baker obviously has gone for years. I mean, you worked with him. You've been in his films. You've worked on his films. You've produced his films. And the fact that it would then sort of culminate in this, I guess. You have a long creative relationship with him. What is that? Can you talk about that? I guess.
Well, it's I think it's just, meeting somebody who has the same sensibility, who like the same type of film with like you do. It's really, it's really hard, especially I was from a different country. I was basically a foreigner at the time. So, finding somebody who can kind of relate to your vision, relate to your idea, that's so important. And especially he just graduated from Tisch, I remember. He was editing his first feature, 4-letter words at the time. And then I was just there to get my master's degree, not even in film. I didn't really go to film school. So I kind of just like learning on the, when we work together, I kind of just like learning at a time, like learning together, develop this very special research method. It's almost like making a documentary. You go into the community, you get to know their stories, and you make friends. We follow their location to shoot our film, right? So all the learning experiences are so unique and it's so precious. And I'm really lucky I found somebody to collaborate, and and all the hard work pay off. He just won 4 Oscars this year, and I'm so proud of him.
It's incredible. It's incredible to have someone like that in your corner, and to be able to have, there's so much doubt that comes into any creative endeavor. I just mean, like you go, can I do this? And do I have it? And do I know what I'm doing? And you didn't go to film school, and yet you have a sort of clearly such a visual sense, and you know how to work with actors, and you trusted them. But the fact that you could have the confidence to tell a very personal story as a woman, again, facing this cultural thing, and then also pull it off technically, and so skillfully. I don't know, can you talk about the doubt that you may have wrestled with, and maybe, how you found your way around that? Because it's quite extraordinary.
Oh my gosh, so many doubts, like even very beginning, when I was talking to people in Taiwan, I wanted to make the film. So I think it's like probably in the 2010, like after we wrote the script. So I was talking to my friend about like, Left-Handed Girl. And a lot of people told me that is so old. Like that does not exist anymore at the time. So I was like, well, that's my story. I'm going to tell it, no matter what. So from that point, I was like, I need to tell my story. And guess what? When I cast Nina, the first day on set, her mother told me Nina was left-handed, and she got corrected. And that was 2022. So, she was 6.
So it's still happening.
Yes, but just people don't know. They don't talk about it.
Right.
Because those traditional things, people just they think it's just like, that should be like that. They don't even question it. They don't even talk about it anymore.
It's almost
just
invisible in a way. Like it's just part of it. Right.
Yeah, just part of their lives. So, so that was one thing. I was like, oh my God, like she was left-handed. She got corrected, and it's modern day. So that really encouraged me even more, like when I first, and then when I went back to Taiwan in the summer, this past summer, we had play day because my daughter, she's also in the film, and in the same age as Nina. So we met up. I asked the mother, I said, so how is her left-handed situation? So the mother told me like, since she made this Left-Handed Girl movie, her grandmother heard it. And she was like, oh my God, how can you can make a film about a left-handed girl? So she stopped correcting her. So now she found her left hand back.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh my God, this is
as a left-handed person, that's fabulous.
Yeah, I really, really that just make my year. I feel like this is what I want to why I want to make this film. I want people to change their tradition and see what happened. One family at a time.
Right.
Nina found her left hand back. That's really, really empowering.
Maybe you can help someone else find their left hand too.
Yes,
and freedom.
I hope so. The
film is Left-Handed Girl. It's directed by Shih-Ching Tsou, who's been our guest here on Inside the Arthouse. It's going to be opening November 14th in movie theaters in North America, opening October 31st in movie theaters in Taiwan and across the world. And yes, it will ultimately be on that platform where many people find their entertainment, and you should look for it. No matter how you can find the film, please get your way to this film and watch it. It's really terrific.
Such a great story. It's so. Thank you for sharing what you shared, because really it just sort of I love the movie, but by you explaining this, it just gives it so much more color. So thank you for that.
Thank you so much for the time to interview me.
Yeah.
And thank you for everybody for joining us here. If you liked the episode, please hit that like button, subscribe, join our growing community of people who want to know what's going on inside the art house.
See you next time.
Thank you.
Our show was produced by Raphael Sparge with on-site producer Norrin Dickerson. Supervising producers are Thomas Cassetta and Miles McCreary. Our show was edited by Gabriel Emley and sound mixed by Thomas Cassetta. Our musical theme was composed by Isabel Engman and Gerardo Garcia Jr. Marketing by Gabriel Emley. Show graphics by Jenna DeAngelis. Additional marketing and web design by Stephanie Peters. Filmed at the historic Laemmle Royal Theater in Los Angeles, California. See you next time on Inside the Art House. If you like today's show, please consider subscribing to our channel to learn more on Inside the Art House.